Hello, and welcome to another episode of Rusty's MS Adventures. There are a couple things I want to talk about today. One that I've been meaning to talk about for over a month now, but if you watched the last video, you'll know that I recently moved, and that kind of took priority over everything, so I'm just now getting around to talking about it. I had a neurologist appointment just over a month ago. It was my 3 month after starting treatment, Glatopa treatment, check-in. So nothing was wrong. It was just a check-in. And recently I haven't really been having many MS symptoms aside from the normal balance, dizziness, and minor vision focusing issues that have been constant for me for over a year. So really, I haven't had anything new come up. I am actually relapse-free since April, which was almost 9 months ago. So knock on wood about that, but I've been doing really well and feeling really well. So when I had my neurologist appointment, and after doing his physical exam and hearing about my recent symptoms, or lack thereof, he said, and I quote, "You're doing great," which I already knew that I was doing great. I feel great. I feel like I'm doing great. But, having your neurologist kind of confirm that is pretty cool. So, and he kind of laughed and nodded when I told him that I was killing the MS thing. I'm not sure if the nod was because he agreed that I was killing it, or because he was just approving of my optimism. But either way, I really am killing the MS thing. So, that's awesome, yay! The one thing it's kind of a related note, it drives me crazy when people that I know are kind of tell me, hey, you should be doing this, I heard about this, why don't you try this or that or the other, because it to me, I realize it's coming from a good place because they care about me, but what I hear is like, you're doing your MS wrong. You should be doing it this way because this is right. If you're not, if you don't have MS and you're not a doctor, you don't have any idea what I'm going through. So please don't tell me that I'm doing it wrong when I'm not doing it wrong. I'm doing it right. As I just said, I'm doing great. My neurologist says I'm doing great. I really, at this point, couldn't really be doing any better. I realized a couple months ago that I feel better now than I did a year ago, which is pretty awesome. And, the goal with MS is to kind of not get worse, or to, slow the progression of your worsening of symptoms as much as possible. So to actually feel better than you did a year ago is really remarkable and awesome. And so I'm doing great. I don't need your suggestions for things to do better. The other thing is, don't discount me when I say that I have a certain symptom. I live, my normal life without many visible symptoms. I work at a computer all day, just pecking away at the keys, and so my balance and vision problems aren't really prevalent, and so I don't mention them. But when you ask me, hey, do you want to go tightrope walking with me this weekend? Which that is just an example. That didn't happen. No one asked me to go tightrope walking with them. It's just something you would need good balance to do. And I say I can't because, I have a balance problem. Don't say, I never noticed you having a balance problem. Well, yeah, you see me sitting at a desk all day. Of course I don't have a balance problem when I'm just sitting there. So it's kind of, you don't know what I'm going through. I don't know what you're going through, but you don't know. Just because I don't complain about having this symptom or that symptom doesn't mean that I don't have it. And, especially since I don't talk about it, when I do mention it, you should really take it to heart. Like, hey, this is real. I'm not just making it up to get out of tightrope walking with you, or whatever. It's kind of one of those darned if you do, darned if you don't type things. If you never mention your symptoms and you kind of, mask them really well, then people don't believe you when you tell them that you have something. But if you are constantly complaining, about this symptom or that, then, you'll be labeled as the person who is constantly talking about their MS and won't shut up about it. So you really can't win, is basically what I'm trying to say. So, but if you know someone with MS, don't accuse them of telling you about symptoms that aren't real. They are real. More likely than not, they are real. And just because you can't see them doesn't mean that the other person isn't experiencing them. You can't really relate to what they're going through, and you have no idea. And so yeah, if you're not another MS patient or a doctor, just kind of let us be. Don't make suggestions for things that we should do differently. If you have an idea or you see something online or whatever, like, a certain exercise program, diet, herbal remedy, I don't know, whatever, and you think that, hey, it could be helpful to this person, you can bring it up. Say, like, hey, I saw this, have you heard about this? But don't say, hey, you should try this because it helped this other person. Just because it helped one person doesn't mean it would help me. It might do nothing for me. It might make things worse for me. You don't know, so don't act like you do have any idea. Sorry, that's not to be, like, mean or condescending or anything. That's how I feel when you say, you should do this or you should do that, or I saw this and it works so great for that person, why don't you do that? I don't need your suggestions. Thank you, but I don't need your suggestions. Your goal, or your job is to be a friend. Be there for me if I need you. If I need your help, I'll ask for it. Otherwise, just step back and let me do my MS thing the way that I know that I feel that I need to do it. And yeah, that's basically it. So, don't, disbelieve me when I tell you I have a symptom, and don't tell me I'm doing my MS wrong. So that's basically what I wanted to say in that whole rant. I apologize if it seemed negative. It's really not negative. It's just something that's been bugging me a little bit, that, people try to help, but it actually just bugs the crap out of me. So it is actually the last day of 2016 today, December 31st, and 2016 was an interesting year for me. It was the year I was diagnosed with MS, so I'll always remember it as that. But overall, I'm not gonna say it was a bad year. I've gone through a lot, sure, but I feel like I've grown as a person, and I'm not gonna, leave this year thinking, 2016, what a terrible year. Really, I feel blessed to be where I am and to have had the experience with my MS so far that I've had, and really things are good. Overall, things are good, and I'm very happy about that. So, Happy New Year to everyone, and thank you for watching. Until next time, take care, Internet World.